I never wanted to take the night shift at the factory. The pay was better, sure, but something about the place after dark felt wrong. The daytime workers always left in a hurry, avoiding eye contact as they clocked out. A few of them would mumble things, half warnings, half superstitions. Just don't look at the mirrors too long. If you hear knocking from inside the walls, ignore it. Whatever you do, don't fall asleep. I thought they were just messing with the new guy. Turns out they weren't. My first night was quiet. Too quiet. The factory was massive, rows of machinery stretching into the dimly lit distance. The overhead lights flickered now and then, casting long, jittery shadows that made the place feel alive. The hum of conveyor belts and the occasional hiss of steam filled the air, but beneath it, there was something else. A stillness, like the building itself was waiting. At around 2 a.m., I took my first break, sitting alone in the break room with a cup of stale coffee. The vending machines hummed, and the old TV in the corner played static. I could hear the faint clang of metal from the production floor, but I knew for a fact that no one was working right now. The night shift crew was small, just me, an old supervisor named Raj, and a janitor who barely spoke. Raj had told me to keep my head down and do my job. Things run smoother that way, he said with a knowing look. I decided to take a quick walk around the factory floor. The machines stood like silent sentinels, their surfaces slick with oil and dust. I passed by a row of mirrors lining one wall, leftovers from when this place used to be a glass manufacturing plant before switching to textiles. The mirrors were old, warped in places, giving me distorted reflections of myself as I walked past. But as I turned away, something made me stop. In the corner of my eye, my reflection wasn't moving. I turned back sharply. My reflection was there, staring back at me like normal. My mind must have been playing tricks on me, I thought. Sleep deprivation, maybe. I shook it off and kept walking, my footsteps echoing through the cavernous space. Then I heard it. A faint tapping sound, like fingers drumming lightly against metal. I froze, scanning the area. It was coming from the far end of the factory floor, near one of the storage rooms. I wasn't supposed to go there. Raj had been clear about that. That section's closed off, he'd said. No reason for you to be back there. But the tapping continued, rhythmic, deliberate. I told myself to ignore it. Walk away, keep working. But my legs had other plans. I don't know why I did it. Maybe it was curiosity. Maybe it was something else. But before I knew it, my feet were leading me toward the sound. The air felt heavier the closer I got to the storage room, like the oxygen had thickened, pressing against my chest. The tapping had stopped by the time I reached the door, but that didn't make me feel any better. The room was supposed to be locked, but the door stood slightly ajar. A sliver of darkness stretched out from the crack, deeper than it should have been, like the room swallowed light. I hesitated, listening. Nothing. Just the distant hum of machines. I reached out and pushed the door open. The inside was darker than it should have been. The overhead lights flickered weakly, casting uneven shadows over the stacked crates and forgotten equipment. The air smelled stale, like something old and rotting. A faint metallic scent lingered beneath it. Then movement. A shape shifted in the farthest corner, barely visible in the dim light. I stepped back instinctively, heart hammering against my ribs. My mind struggled to make sense of it. Was it a person? An animal? But the longer I stared, the more wrong it felt. Its foam wasn't solid. It flickered, like a bad signal on an old TV. Then it moved again, a long, slow step forward, not walking, gliding. The dim light caught its surface, and I realized I wasn't looking at a shadow. I was looking at reflection. One of the old mirrors had been left in the room, leaning against the wall. But the thing inside wasn't me. It was something else. Its face was stretched and wrong, its eyes too wide, too dark. And it was smiling. I staggered back, but my reflection in the other mirrors didn't move. They stood still, frozen, watching. My breath hitched as I saw more of them. Distorted figures trapped in the glass, twitching, shifting, their mouths forming silent words. A cold whisper brushed against my ear. "You shouldn't be here." I spun around, but no one was there. The air was empty, still, but when I turned back to the mirror, the figures were closer. I bolted. I don't remember running back to the main floor, but suddenly I was there, gasping for breath, my hands shaking. Raj was standing by the control panel, watching me with an expression that wasn't quite surprise. More like disappointment. "You looked, didn't you?" he said. I couldn't answer. He sighed, rubbing a hand over his face. "Damn it, I told them not to bring in new guys." I swallowed hard. What the hell was that?" Raj didn't answer right away. He just stared past me, toward the dark hallway I'd just come from. "They see you now," he said finally. "You don't just walk away from that." The factory felt different after that. The shadow stretched longer. The mirrors seemed to watch me, and the tapping never really stopped. Raj didn't say anything else. He just walked away, leaving me standing there, shaken and confused. But I could see it in his face. He knew exactly what I had seen, and he knew there was nothing I could do about it. I tried to finish my shift like normal, pretending everything was fine. But the factory felt different now, like it had come alive. The mirrors weren't just reflecting anymore. They were watching. Every time I glanced at them, I saw movement where there shouldn't be any. Shadows stretching wrong, smiles that didn't belong to me. Then the power cut out. The entire factory plunged into darkness, the machines grinding to a halt. The silence was suffocating. I fumbled for my phone, its weak flashlight barely cutting through the pitch-black void. That's when I heard it. A whisper, close, too close. "Come back." I turned, the beam of my flashlight shaking. The mirrors along the far wall flickered in the dim light, and for the first time, I saw them fully. Figures trapped inside, their eyes empty, mouths moving in silent screams. Then one of them stepped out. It didn't crawl. It didn't break through the glass. It simply slid forward, as if the mirror was just a doorway. Its body was stretched, its limbs too long, its grin carved into its face. And it was walking toward me. I ran. I didn't care where. I just needed to get away. My footsteps echoed through the factory, but so did something else. More footsteps, more than one. They were following me. I turned a corner too fast and slammed into something solid. Raj. His grip on my arms was firm, his face grim. "You have to leave," he said. Now. I didn't argue. I bolted for the exit, Raj right behind me. The factory doors loomed ahead, a sliver of moonlight shining through the glass panes. Just a few more steps. A hand grabbed my wrist, not Raj's. Cold, wrong, fingers that weren't fingers, but something slick and shifting. I screamed and yanked away, stumbling through the doors into the freezing night air. The factory loomed behind me, its windows dark and empty, silent, as if nothing had happened. Raj locked the doors. He didn't look at me when he spoke. "They won't stop now," he said quietly. You should quit. I did. But even after leaving, I still see them in reflections, in windows, in places they shouldn't be. And sometimes they smile.